Personal story segment tonight. I hope you got to see my piece in Parade magazine yesterday entitled What President Obama Can Teach America's Kids. All children should read this story. It's not political, but it contains very important messages for kids. Joining us now from Los Angeles, radio talk show host Leslie Marshall, in for Juan Williams this evening. From Washington, Fox News analyst Mary Catherine Ham. I also think that there is a hatred for President Obama, as there was, Leslie, for President Bush. And once you get into the hate zone, then all thinking is clouded, correct?
Yes, it's not like your spin zone, right? No spin zone. What we're looking at, Bill, is you pointing out, like you had said, something that isn't political. You know, you look at a lot of Americans who are fed up with people blaming their parents. Sorry, Sigmund Freud. You look at kids who aren't respectful to their parents or to adults. You're looking at a guy with the name Barack Hussein Obama in post 9/11, who is biracial, a black man running for president, and he's done it. I think it's admirable that you, even though we disagree ideologically, you're saying, look, I may not agree with the guy politically, but I got to give him props where props are due, and I commend him for this, and that's a good example for children, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I'm going to get a lot of heck for this later.
Why? Why would you get heck for that? See, what drives people, what drives people who can take a nice article that everybody should clip out and hand to children, particularly children having trouble, and say, look, these are lessons that you need to succeed. What drives, Leslie, somebody to try to destroy that concept? You say you're going to be criticized by your pals or whoever. Why would they bother to do that? It's got to be hatred. It's got to be hatred.
I agree with you. You know, Bill, I'm very fortunate to be on your show enough, and people will say to me, why do you do that show? You're a liberal, you're a Democrat, you're a traitor. And I'll say, honestly, and this is not kissing your butt, I like Bill, I respect Bill. We don't agree, but we don't disagree 100% of the time either. And I think that's where most Americans are. We have areas where we overlap, and I think that you are pointing out an area where most Americans do overlap.
So. I think
anybody
you're right.
looks at this guy and respects him.
I think you're right. That most Americans reading this article would say it's a positive article. Everything in it is absolutely true. There's not one word that isn't true, and that it would help kids. But Mary Catherine, what's the difference, Mary Catherine? Between the Bush haters, and we put up with them for 8 years, as you pointed out, and the Obama haters. What's the difference?
Fair argument to say that he maybe undercuts his rhetoric in some of his policy choices.
All right, Leslie, just as the Bush haters would never say anything good about the president, even though he saved millions of lives in Africa and protected us from Al-Qaeda's second attack, some on the right will never say anything good about Obama.
Right. Well, and I applaud the folks who did that with Bush, and I will applaud folks who do it with Obama.
All right, last word, Leslie.
You got to be fair.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you, with George W. Bush, I actually have said good things, and I got heck for that too. I agree with them in illegal immigration, but it comes down to it. And you said, what is the difference, Bill? The difference is the people hating Obama are doing so either because they're standing on a different side, they're on the right, the Bush haters were on the left. But with Obama, there is also a racial element that wasn't there with former President George W. Bush.
But there was that religious aspect.
I think it's true.
There was that religious aspect with President Bush. Ladies, thanks very much. Blaine Moore has a